If you are new, welcome. If not, welcome back. Today we will be going over the video modes on the DJI Mini 2. Here is a low light sample in 4K 30. I chose low light for this sample to show you the 4K video and point out any flaws. When there is insufficient light, there is noise and grain in the video. I don't see any yet. Okay, so when the drone goes over these trees, the black stood out to me, and there was a small amount of grain. The sun is also rising, which means the video quality should get better. Here we are viewing a sample at 2.7K, 30 frames per second. As the drone moves along, you will start to see that there is noise all over the video, which makes the footage look horrible. It is still usable, although I would not share this on social media for any reason to post. I am doing a test, which is why I am showing you this footage. As the drone peers back over the trees, the light becomes more visible, and there is more noise yet again. The video looks choppy and not as smooth as before, although the footage is in the same frame rate. Later on in the video, I will show you what 2.7K looks like in normal lighting conditions, as well as the other video modes, as long as I don't get snow or overcast conditions. Here is 1080p at 30 frames per second in low lighting conditions. The quality of the video has degraded drastically, which shows more noise than before. This will look alright on a 1080p display, yet while viewing in 4K, you will notice greater differences in quality. Now, just to think that a few years ago, 1080p was the standard for most videos. There are some pros and cons to using the different video modes on this drone, starting with 1080p at 30 FPS. This frame rate is slightly higher than the standard in the US, which is 24 frames per second, and the UK at 25. Using this video mode will save a lot of storage space, giving you more time to record. 2.7K produces high quality footage without wasting as much storage space. It is the middle child of the three resolutions. The pros for using 4K are high quality footage, future-proofing your content, and this will allow for stabilization in post. The cons of 1080p, there is a lower resolution. When you end up cropping, the video will have fewer pixels to work with. The cons of 2.7K are storage space without the sacrifice of quality. And the cons of 4K are storage space. You'll need a reasonable amount of it. The most significant con I see is the time it takes to render the footage. First, we have 1080p, 30 frames per second. The video quality is not the greatest, which you can see. I'm not noticing as much noise as the low lighting conditions, yet it is still not the greatest looking. Next, we have 1080p at 60 frames per second. The video is smooth for the most part. It looks kind of unrealistic. This would be useful if I wanted to slow down the video to point out specific things that are seen here. Now, as we move along the trees, you'll see that the video quality isn't the greatest. Now we are viewing 2.7K in ridiculously bright conditions. The video is smooth, as well as the quality of the video. The trees are blown out until the camera starts looking at the horizon over here. There is a small amount of grain inside the video where the trees are moving. Other than that, the video looks fine. Now we are viewing 2.7K at 60 frames per second. This footage is smoother than the 30 frames per second that I showed you. I also set the exposure differently in this shot, as I am still learning about exposure. There isn't a whole lot to this footage except that it is a little bit better than 1080p. Lastly, we have 4K 30 in bright conditions. The video is really smooth, although the brightness is throwing off the color of the trees and the ground. Now, I do have this in Pro mode, so when the camera views the sky, it is normal looking, which you can see here. A great thing about taking 4K video is you can actually take 12 megapixel stills with this camera and zoom in. You'll be able to see this tower and this set of trees over here. Now looking at a still from a 1080p shot, you'll be able to see this mountain over here since the drone was in a different location. You will not be able to see that tower as well as the 12 megapixel still from the 4K video. Now looking at a still from a 2.7K video, this allows you to zoom in a little more than before. You'll be able to see more features of the lake. I did not get the tower this time around, although you will be able to see the minute details on the rocks. Another cool detail I noticed is with the 2.7K, you can zoom in 3 times versus 2 times with 4K. So here we have 4K with the 2 times zoom. You can see the mountain a little more clearly now. I will be going over the quick shot modes in another video. If you like the video, drop a like on it. Make sure you subscribe and turn on the post notifications. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.